to this. Good morning. It's Wednesday, June 17th, and science says there may be dozens of intelligent civilizations in the Milky Way that we'll never meet. Okay. Need to know. Dexamethasone drops COVID-19 deaths. You know why you can tell us about this is because President Trump hasn't said anything about it yet. Wonder what's going to happen if he does, huh? It's suddenly going to be killing people? A common steroid drug has been shown to reduce deaths in severe cases of COVID-19 by a third. Oh, emphasis on the severe part. Same with the hydroxychloroquine was helpful in very severe cases. By a third, according to preliminary results released yesterday. If confirmed, the Oxford University-led study would represent the first therapy to increase survival odds among the sickest patients. Death rates for patients on medical ventilators were reduced by 35% in the study, while for patients on oxygen, but not ventilators, the rate fell by 20%. The drug, dexamethasone, is cheap and widely available and often used to treat common inflammatory ailments like arthritis. In severe COVID-19 cases, the threat is not only the virus, but a runaway immune system response that leads to organ failure, specifically the lungs, a condition known as acute respiratory distress syndrome. As a corticosteroid, dexamethasone dampens the body's immune response, though why it is more effective than others is currently unclear. Separately, new data suggest nursing homes account for more than 40% of U.S. coronavirus deaths, at least 51,000 in total, despite representing less than 1% of the country's population. Perhaps it wouldn't have been quite so high if places like, New York and Michigan hadn't forced the nursing homes to take in patients who they knew had the coronavirus, who had tested positive. New York, they had to take in, the normal old people who happened to test positive. Michigan, I believe it was Michigan, where they actually had to take in anybody. Fucking anybody of any age that tested positive, just as a way to keep the hospitals cleared out for more people. And in at least one case, probably more, but one that I've heard of, one of the coronavirus patients, the younger guy, was beating up on the old people. I wonder if any of those died, and if they did, would it be contributed to coronavirus? Attributed, that is? Would it be attributed to coronavirus? I wonder if that happened. Cities and Fed focus on police reform. President Trump signed an executive order yesterday directing federal agencies to encourage improved police procedures. Okay. That's a little bland, but good for an executive order. The order also establishes a database to track instances of excessive force and the officers who commit such violations. Full order here. Is it going to be public, I wonder? The move comes on the heels of nationwide and global protests over the death of George Floyd, killed while being taken into custody by Minneapolis police officers 3 weeks ago. Aides, it's only been 3 weeks? Geez, it feels like forever. Aides said the order complements legislation currently being developed by Senator Tim Scott. That's a Republican from South Carolina. Democrats in the House and Senate also previously unveiled a police reform proposal, which went a little too far in some areas. Not surprising. In Atlanta, Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms announced a series of administrative police reforms, including requiring all deadly force incidents to be reported to a citizen review board. Citizen review board. How much diversity is going to be on that citizen review board? And I mean actual diversity of experience, as well as diversity of color, because at this point, I think that you would put all black people on there and call it diverse. Just saying. The move follows the death of Rayshard Brooks. Oh, because of that? Who was shot after a struggle with police in a Wendy's drive-thru. A number of other cities, including Los Angeles, New York City, and elsewhere, are considering immediate reforms. Check out the story of Camden, New Jersey, where the police department was rebuilt in 2011. Boogaloo killings in California. Stephen Carrillo, a sergeant in the U.S. Air Force, was charged with the ambush killing of a federal police officer in Oakland, California, prosecutors announced yesterday. The Oakland incident occurred May 29th. Carrillo was already under arrest for a June 6th ambush in which he killed a Santa Cruz County deputy and injured another. But deadly force is frowned upon. Chokeholds are frowned upon. Any kind of force is frowned upon. Authorities have linked Carrillo to an online extremist group referred to as the Boogaloo Movement. Messages referencing the group were scrawled in blood at the scene of the June 6th incident, including, "I became unreasonable," a loose call to action for members of the far-right anti-government collective. Because that's the big problem right now. Officials are still investigating Carrillo's involvement in extremist groups, though it was noted he was part of an Air Force anti-terrorist squadron known as the Phoenix Ravens as recently as April. Oh, they chose their guys well, didn't they? Read more on the group, which purportedly seeks to start a second civil war here. Because they're the ones that are going to end up starting a second civil war, huh? That's how that's going to happen? Right. Time for a one-card wallet. The Ascent. Scenario. You're at the register about to check out, and you open your wallet and see the credit card in the front slot. You hesitate. Is this the right card? But it's too late. You just left cash back on the table. If you've been dreaming of a one-card wallet, it's time you get your hands on this credit card recommended by our friends at The Ascent, by the Motley Fool. Not only does this card offer 0% intro APR for over a year, cardholders can also earn up to an industry-crushing 5% cash back, all with no annual fee. This is the stuff smart spenders and savers dream about. So whether you'd like to avoid paying interest until 2021 by transferring your existing credit card balance, or you'd like to secure the highest cashback rate we've found, next time you open your wallet and glance at the front slot, you'll have no doubt that you are making the right choice by swiping it. Learn more today. Please support our sponsors. In the Know, Sports, Entertainment, and Culture. Jimmy Kimmel tapped to host 2020 Primetime Emmys. The show's usual format expected to be altered due to the coronavirus, but details have not been announced. Mike McCormick, former MLB Cy Young winning pitcher, dies at 81 of Parkinson's disease. Harvard becomes latest university to temporarily drop standardized tests as part of its admissions requirements due to the coronavirus. Science and technology. 6 billion Earth-like planets may exist in the Milky Way according to a new upper limit estimate. Model suggests 1 Earth-like planet for every 5 sun-like stars. Pretty cool. Burning coal in Siberia, driven by volcanic eruptions, found to be a main cause of the Permo-Triassic extinction 250 million years ago. Web application firm Basecamp accuses Apple of denying an iOS update to its recently released email app, Hey, because it wasn't receiving a cut of app-generated revenue. Yeah, well, with Apple, it's all about the money. They gotta get their money. They gots to have their monies. Business and markets. U.S. stock markets soar. S&P 500 up 1.9%, Dow up 2.0%, NASDAQ up 1.8% as retail sales up higher than expected at 17.7% in May. Figures are still down 6% from same period last year. Well, honestly, 6% doesn't seem like too much, and when you think about all of the, the lockdowns, the closures, all that shit. Pacific Gas and Electric... Wait, does that take into account internet purchases? Retail sales? I wonder if that is just in-person sales or if it's also internet sales. Pacific Gas and Electric Corp. Pleads guilty on 84 counts of involuntary manslaughter from 2018 Northern California wildfires. Okay. Involuntary manslaughter, that's actually a reasonable charge, I suppose. More than some other courts have been doing recently. Apple to face European antitrust investigations into App Store and Apple Pay over 30% commission on digital content purchases. Wow. Get 'em, Europe. Politics and world affairs. India says 20 soldiers were killed in Himalayan border dispute with China. Scuffle is the first deadly border incident between the two in 45 years. China. China's getting too big for their britches. Somebody needs to drop a bomb on them or two. I'm kidding. White House sues to block book by former National Security Advisor John Bolton, saying it contains classified information that could threaten national security if released. So, redacted a little bit. Joseph D'Angelo, a Navy veteran and former police officer accused of being the Golden State Killer, expected to plead guilty to avoid death penalty. D'Angelo became an early example of using DNA ancestry databases to crack cold cases. Cash back every time. The Ascent is the friend who always does way too much research before committing to the best option. But their research has paid off in a big way this time with this card. It's the only one you'll need in your wallet. Combined 0% intro APR for over a year, no annual fee, and up to an incredible 5% cash back. You'll have no regrets swiping it next time you buy. Check it out now. Please support our sponsors. Etc. Americans haven't been this unhappy since the Vietnam War. Yeah, that's not surprising. That's really not surprising. I don't know why that's news. Charting 75 years of media advertising. A history of World War II in 25 airplanes. From our partners, now's your chance to enjoy a 4-star resort in Napa Valley at a 55% discount. Choose your dates with the peace of mind that your trip is fully refundable. Book now here. Computer program generates beautiful rivers that never existed. What's the point of that? The must-visit small town in every state. Science guesses there are 30 intelligent civilizations in the Milky Way. Okay, if it's a must-visit small town, how about tell me what the, what was ranked number 2? What was ranked number 3? I'll go to those instead. Science guesses there are 30 intelligent civilizations in the Milky Way. Have 75, so that's just an estimate based on, chances, odds. Have $75,000 to spend? Snag one of those terrifying robot dogs. Oh. If I had $75,000, I would not be spending it on a terrifying robot dog. A prehistoric-looking alligator snapping turtle was found wandering in a Virginia neighborhood. Those things are cool looking. Clickbait. And Diego the tortoise, savior to his species, finally retires. Savior to his species, does that mean they bred a shit ton of tortoises out of him? Big Daddy. History books. Battle of Bunker Hill fought, 1775. Statue of Liberty arrives in New York as gift from France, 1885. And possibly this year, it's gonna get torn down and burned. I'm sure they wouldn't do that to the Statue of Liberty. Protesters, quote, protesters, unquote, they've done it to Churchill. They've done it to Abraham fucking Lincoln. But of course they wouldn't do it to the Statue of Liberty. Happy birthday tennis star Venus Williams, 1980. Happy birthday rapper Kendrick Lamar, 1987. O.J. Simpson arrested for murder following police chase, 1994. You have to train your mind as much as your body, Venus Williams. Okay. That's a good quote. That is all for today. Thank you, and goodbye.